First and foremost, if you click this video, I want to say you are appreciated. Before I get into it, though, I do want to go into detail about the direction I plan on taking the channel. When I first started it, I had a plan of just doing strictly playlists and kind of trying to tell a story through the playlist of artists and just what certain songs mean to me. But with YouTube's copyright and just how hard it was to upload certain songs, it became difficult to put out the content that I wanted to make. So going forward, I thought to myself that I should take this as a sign to make my own content and actually tell you guys what these songs means and what certain stories I have of my own personal life behind them and why I love these songs so much and why I love music so much. So, this is now timeless talks instead of timeless playlists. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. My love for music run very deep, but to kick this video off, I got to start off in an era that I believe is why this channel even exists. I got to go back to 2009, where we as fans was introduced to the three-headed monster that we all know and love today, Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. I was 11 years old, just starting to understand what music was, I feel, as far as bars, cadence, and production. And to kick off the three-headed monster is Drake for me. When I first discovered Best I Ever Have, I think like everybody else, that was the first song I heard from Drake. And it was just everywhere. It was different. I never really at that time heard a rapper be able to sing as well as he could. And ironically, at the time of this recording, Best I Ever Had, Successful, and Every Girl were the top three songs on the chart in 2009. And for whatever reason, Drake was just super relatable. He didn't come off to me like he was trying to be a tough guy, or we introduced to him by love songs and singing to women. So I just thought that was super relatable. At that time, I feel like the game needed someone who wasn't just rapping about guns and hoes and just killing and shooting and just the typical things that a traditional rapper at that time would talk about. Drake came on talking about how he wanted to be successful and heartbreak and just things that we needed. We had people like Kanye who was making music like that at that time, but I think Drake's delivery and his cadence was just all around different from Kanye, especially with him being a better singer and without it being a lot of auto-tune. With me, and what made this era so special is that I grew up in the YouTube era, so it was very easy to find new music from Drake, and whenever he would release it was very easy to find it. So I kept finding songs like Ransom and just going back into his mixtape days and just building love and respect for his music more and more. I feel like as a true music head, you need that itch to be scratched as far as that R&B. You can't just listen to music and say you're a music head if you only listening to killing, stealing, robbing, and fucking hoes. You need something that's going to either make you think or just give you that taste and that itch that we all need scratched as far as that R&B taste. Although I grew up in the YouTube era, cable was still running things at this time, and I don't know about you guys, but in my household, it was something on the TV called MTV Jams that was always on, and they did something called Jam of the Week. And immediately I got into my introduction of J. Cole with this song that I hated with a passion, called All I Want Is You by Miguel. I don't know why I hated this song so much, and if I'm honest, I still do. Like Miguel's verses, J. Cole verses, I hated it, and I couldn't understand for the life of me why this song was Jam of the Week. I would religiously listen to it to try and force myself to like it, and I just could not. I still hate this song. My hatred for the song fueled my curiosity. I wanted to know why this was Jam of the Week so bad, so I Googled Miguel, and at that time I couldn't really get with the music he was putting out, but I definitely saw his talent. But with this song, J. Cole's verse seemed to stick out to me way more than Miguel. So I YouTube him, and that's when I got into all his mixtapes that he was putting out. I stumbled across the warm up, and I just remember thinking to myself, like, man, like if he would have put these type of verses onto this Miguel song, I would have liked them way earlier. The warm up mixtape is still one of my favorite mixtapes to this day. Immediate standouts for me was songs like Grown Simba and Lights Please. I would run those songs into the ground, and that Simba series is what led me to the following mixtape, Friday Night Lights. The raw storytelling on songs like Two-Face gave me an understanding of why fans would compare him to artists like Nas. I wasn't in the Nas era, but I started to see why Nas gets all the love and respect that he does, because the storytelling. J. Cole has this way about his music that puts you inside the song. He makes you really feel like you live in his lyrics with him, and if you actually have lived a life where you can relate to it, it makes that feeling 10 times stronger. At this time, Drake and Cole ended up being my two favorite artists I would go and listen to that were newer, and everybody else was starting to get onto him as well. So it kind of became a norm to be Drake and Cole fans. So fast forward to around about 2011, they put out the song In the Morning. In the Morning still gets spins for me to this day. The way they both had their unique sounds and their cadences delivered on this song was just perfect to me. And in that same year, Drake would go on to release, to me, is his second classic, which was Take Care. And I think this is the time period where Drake started to take over the rap game. And as I listened to that album, I remember hearing Buried Alive for the first time and me playing that over and over and over again, trying to figure out who was this dude rapping so crazy on this song. So like I did with Cole and Drake 2 years prior, I had to kill that curiosity. So I stumbled across Kendrick Lamar. And at that time, he had a mixtape out called Section 80. And songs like ADHD, Blow My High, the flows, the delivery, it literally blew my mind. And he emerged as my favorite of the three. It seemed like instantly Kendrick released the single Swimming Pools. And from there, it seemed like these three was emerging. This three-headed monster that I've referred to earlier in the video. And they just separated themselves from this new school and this new era of rap that was going to take over. The sound of Swimming Pools didn't do justice of what I thought Kendrick's debut album would sound like. Good Kid, Mad City. Doesn't need any description. Doesn't need any words to it. It's an instant classic. It's an album I still listen to this day. And from there, I kind of had a sense and I knew that what we were seeing in music is something that we wasn't going to see for a very long time. We had three artists who were different in their own right, but so skilled and all working together. Beautiful thing about this era is that although we knew the three-headed monster exists, we also saw the likes of Wale, Big Sean, Meek Mill, A$AP Rocky, Wiz Khalifa, Mac Miller, Schoolboy, and many more come to surface and do their thing in their own right. And just like the three, they all seem to be good friends, all collaborating with each other on projects, all doing singles with each other, just putting out good music. We saw songs like Burn with Meek Mill and Big Sean. We saw songs like PMW with Schoolboy and A$AP. We saw songs like Amen with Meek and Drake. Over their time, they had feuds, as we all know, but for the most part, they came into the game together and they delivered and marked a spot in the game that could never be taken away. And that is the reason I call it the golden era. As much as it hurts to admit, as a music fan, I don't think we'll ever see this much magnitude of talent coming to the game all at one time, working with each other. Every one of these artists changed the game in their own way, creating their own sounds and just changing the culture of music at that time. Every artist I name is still going hard to this day. We just got an album from Cole, the off season, that arguably to me might be a top 3 project of his. We supposed to be getting Drake and Kendrick before this year is over with. And every last artist is still delivering to this day. So let me know what you think in the comments about this era of the music, and if you think we'll ever see it again or better. Hit to like, comment, and subscribe.